welcome to the Weekly Dog Sportsman Podcast Show. It's your boy Mac Scott, the man Russian.
And I'm E. Salim, the man Taylor Street.
And the name of this episode is Aha Hoops. The Hardwire version, we fishing our homie T.Knott, and we on fire the spot being the Brown Toro Hardwire machine, the plug and play, as E like to say. We got T on the monitor. T, how's it going, man? We on fire the spot. What's going on, baby?
Man, what's going down, man? Back on the spaceship once again, man. Back on the spaceship, man. So I appreciate you guys letting me follow through, man. And, it's all love, man. Especially, we got, we on Fire Sports Podcast, the spot.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So we up in the building, man. So I appreciate all the love, fam.
Man, all the love for sure, bro. Man, we ain't gonna hold you, Joe, because we here for a good time, not a long time. Spaceship taking off, Joe. We want to get into this NBA playoffs, T. Now, let me set the stage for you, bro. It's the NBA playoffs. It's on the West Coast. We got Minnesota versus OKC. On the East Coast, it's the New York Knickerbockers versus the Indiana Pacers, a legendary series over East. So we gonna start out West first, man. I want you to tell me how you feel about this Eastern Conference. About this Western Conference matchup, and who you think gonna come out on top, bro? Tell me about both teams, and because each series they play the game, so we see how they match up. What you think, Joe? How you feeling about it?
Man, well, this money time right now, man. We in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference Finals, man, and first and foremost, man, congratulations to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, man, winning the NBA MVP award. Big time award for him. Obviously, Oklahoma City, they just produce MVPs. They got another one in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, man. So congratulations to him. And I just think first, my overall view of the conference finals, just real quick, is just simply a changing of the guard. You got four teams that's kind of, in this situation now. Last team to win an NBA championship, if you want to be technical, would be OKC when they was the Seattle Seahawks in 1979.
Man, so, that's out of all four of these teams, that's the last one to win.
Yes, sir.
I love it.
The Knicks, you got to go back to 1973. So,
Well,
so
Frank,
for me,
that's the leg.
Oh, yeah.
With Willis Reed.
All day. So, it's just a situation where it's a change of the guard across the league, man. In the Western Conference, think about this, man. Oklahoma City, they was able to win 68 ball games this year, man. They was 2 games away from winning 70. You got, the league leading scorer, by the way, in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and also, too, the MVP. We've just seen this team grow over the year. There's a lot of skepticism about this team. Obviously, you guys had some skepticism.
Right.
With the Oklahoma City
Pretenders.
Thunder.
You know what I was saying about OKC, bro? I was saying they was pretenders. And FYI, we had this segment earlier. Early on, we had this segment, and I had to take the pretender label off of OKC, just so you know. Like, I have to admit it. I took the label off. The MVP and the Game 1 win, the Game 1 blowout, certified stamper. They official now. They official. My bad for cutting you off. Go ahead, though, T.
Oh, no, you know what it was. I had to circle back on it, you know what I'm saying? So, it's just a situation where, I just think with them, man, when you look at them just from a statistic standpoint, this is the best defense in the league, every statistical category. And so for me, just with that being said, it's going to be an uphill climb for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Just a guy that, from the Minnesota perspective, that really ain't getting enough respect out here is Julius Randle.
Man,
this guy's been hooping since the Lakers series. So, I just think that he's a huge cog. And obviously, you got Ant-Man there. Ant-Man going to get you one game. He got superstar status, so he's going to get you a game. But I just think that for Minnesota, Julius Randle got to get you a game. And I thought that game was game 1. He was outstanding in game 1.
First half.
And, first half he was outstanding. He came in, coming downhill, hitting the J. They're going to leave me open, I'm going to knock that down. So, he's playing some good ball. I just think that at the end of the day, and this has been the Achilles heels against teams that's playing against Oklahoma City all season, is that, if you turn the ball over, bro, and you got bad shot selection, they're going to get you up out of that.
Man.
We saw that in game 1. I like also, too, head coach Mike Dagno is just putting his role players in that 8th, 9th, and 10th guy, putting them in the game early.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like by the time you get to halftime, bro, they didn't play all 8 guys. You know what I mean?
They used to the game. Everybody didn't play some minutes. Everybody used to the action.
Exactly. And, you know, so you see that really kind of manifest itself in the second half of these games for Oklahoma City. You know, especially in the games that they won. You know, they've been able to kind of get a little boost. And it's not necessarily Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, the guy doing it. You know, Jalen Williams, who, you know, me and you, Mac, we had a conversation shortly.
Right.
Jalen Williams.
Right.
You know,
another guy don't have faith in, but go continue.
Well, I just think that, you know, at the end of the day, some guys are just good in their role, and there's a cap on that role. So, you know, as far as, you know, him being, you know, superstar type of guy, I'm not going to go that far with it.
Right.
But I just think that when you got Oklahoma City and they force at least 15 turnovers in a game,
yes.
you ain't beating them.
Yes. And I can say this, too. When they forcing those turnovers, who you see on the other end dunking the ball? Most of the time, it's your boy, Jalen Williams. He on the other end, Joe, dunking the ball. It's like he just got a knack for that, man, that turnover. He out there pushing the break. They can't catch him. He dunking the ball. So he gave him my respect. Dunk by dunk, turnover by turnover. He gave him my respect at a high pace. Straight up.
Yeah, so just with this club, man, for me, and I talked about it, you know, on the spot, you know, an episode or so ago, just about, for me, it's just a situation where Minnesota has to raise their level of play, because that was my only trepidation about the Minnesota Timberwolves, like coming into the season, is that their team at time when they play their best ball, they can beat anybody in the league.
Right.
But then they go through stretches to where they don't kind of like can't get right type of mode. And with Oklahoma City, this series will be over in 5 if they playing like that. So to me, you know, just to go ahead and put the prediction out there, man, you know, I had the Oklahoma City Thunder winning this series. I think it will go 7 games. I think Minnesota's good enough to get them a game in Oklahoma City. You know, I think that, you know, Ant-Man gonna get you one on the road, man. He's just too good of a player. And, you know, shout out to Mike Conley Jr., you know, playing that veteran role for them, playing some good ball. You know, I just like just the pieces that they have, man. When they're clicking on all cylinders, Gobert was playing good, you know, obviously in that Golden State series. So they got dudes who know Dante DiVincenzo. So they got guys that can, if they play their role well, definitely make this a competitive series. But I got Oklahoma City, man, in 7 getting on to the NBA Finals.
Okay. Okay, see, in 7. I like it. You think Minnesota gonna put up a fight?
I like it. You know, I mean, that's a good take. You know, I ain't gonna say 7, but you know, it's all good. You know, hey, shout out to your boy Caruso too, man. You know, but just showing some love out there, sticking on Ant-Man like that. You know, that one been doing good. You know.
Yeah.
But let's get to the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of drama out there. You know, New York was going crazy with the fans.
New York.
It was a bomb burner. It was a bomb burner in New York versus the Pacers, 138 to 135.
Yes.
New York was up by 17 in the fourth quarter, and then they was up by 11 with 3 minutes left, and blew the lead. They just blew their tires like that. Man, hey, shout out to the Pacers for coming back, but what's your take on this series right here? Because, I mean, everybody had New York, and now, you know, some eyes are woken up on these Pacers.
See, let me tell you, though, before you kick it out, let me tell you, let's go to the betterverse for a minute, right?
We gotta go to the
so we and the boys shoot the pod yesterday. The game is on. Man, we in mode. The game is on. We train. You know, it's like we in the stock room. We in the boarding room. We train. So I get a hot train going. I'm talking about we riding. I'm talking about the train so legit. Soon as your boy hit that first tray ball in the fourth quarter, I get to try to put it in. It won't go in. It finally go in. I get it in. I get the trade in. I get the bet in. T. It finally go in. That Indiana Pacers money line. It finally go in like we spelt it. He was already talking about, man, the pace of the game too fast. I'm like, man, New York gonna win by 30. He like, man, the pace of the game too fast. This game, this is an Indiana type game. I'm like, he was on this shit. I'm like, all right, fuck it, man. Let me take this money line. It's 10-1, Joe. So shout out to E for calling it. You know what I'm saying? He calling it. He seeing it. He called it out. I made the play. So we capitalized on that comeback. That Nick curse is real, Joe. How you feel, though? You get into I had to get that story out because we was in the betterverse last night, tripped to hollow that game, Joe. My life. It was a hell of a game, man. Man,
and if I can remember correctly, I think the spread was about 4 for New York once she was getting, I think, into the fourth quarter. I think I saw that. But yeah, man, it just was a situation. And first and foremost, man, this series is for bumps. We're gonna take it back. You know, this for boots right here.
Hardcore boats.
To the rooftop, you know what I'm saying? And that's between,
that's so.
Exactly, and that's between Tyrese Halliburton and Jalen Brunson.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna say this. If you check, you know, my segment on the spot when I previewed this series, I had Pacers in 7.
Okay.
I got Pacers in this series, and I'm gonna explain to you why. It's because the Pacers out here, man, they dirty macking out here, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, they like the dude who dirty macking. You ain't up on your girl 24/7, all hooked up, you know what I mean? Dirty Mac slide in on you, you know what I mean? So right loose chains out there, we gonna scoop that. And they've been playing like that dude for 2 weeks. They did Cleveland like that.
Yeah.
We don't need that little dice money out there, we scooping that up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just think at the end of the day, he hit it right on the head. And it was something that I was saying when I was watching the telecast is that this is an Indiana Pacers pace. I even said on the spot, I said that this is going to be a litmus test between the New York Knicks and just their stamina and the whole situation with Tom Thibodeau. Meaning that the Pacers, the beauty of them is that they're a deep ball club. They play at a pace where you got to play each possession. It's not like they got, you know, just a guy that they can play isolation ball with, go out there and get you 35.
Right.
To me, the beauty of this team is that any dude can burn you. Obviously, when you saw last night with Naismith that burned you. And so just, you know, guys like Nimrod, obviously. Tyrese Halliburton is the closer.
Right.
Put some respect on my name out here. I know I might be a little corny or something, but I'm gonna scoop up that loose change if you leave it out there.
Oh my life.
And his dad made me feel a little better about him, dog. He got that nigga in him.
The Reggie Miller meme, though. Reggie Miller Sally, that was legendary, Joe. He did the Reggie Miller Sally, Joe.
And to me, it was just a situation of where, you know, as Eve probably was alluding to, is that you can just see the air getting let out the tires a little bit from the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? I just think that obviously you need a guy, either it be Naismith or anybody, Miles Turner, you need a dude to get hot. And he got hot right at the right time, and I just think that at the end of the day with Jalen Brunson, you got to understand this. I mean, how many guards who basically 6'1" and under has led a team to an NBA championship? You know, I help you out. 2 guys. One named Steph Curry, the other named Isaiah Thomas. So it's a tough situation. You know, obviously we've seen the likes of Allen Iverson be, you know, that guy MVP of the league. But at the end of the day, I just think that Indiana, man, they're playing a style of ball that may not be what you call sexy, but they're a team that's resilient. They always feel like they're in the game. And Tyrese Halliburton, they have nobody to stay in front of this guy when he want to go down here with the rock.
Right. The defense was suspect in New York for sure.
I mean, they gave up $140 due to Madison Square Garden. You know what I'm saying? Like, people forget that part about the game. Obviously, it was thrilling with the comeback. But man, the Knicks gave up 138 points, $140 at the career, dude. You're not winning an NBA playoff game at home, dude. You're giving up 140 points. It ain't happening.
But so, but the guy got hot though. The guy got hot, man. It's hard to stop. It's hard to stop an NBA quality player once you see the threes he was throwing up. He was throwing up logo jump shot floating bombs. So they hitting bottom of the net. I couldn't believe it, man.
He got hotter than a firecracker, man. And so, you know, to me, with the Knicks, man, it just boiled down from their perspective is that they got to win 2 out of the next 3 games. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to do that. Obviously, Indiana, they thirsty. They're going to try to come in and win game 2. So, you know, I do think the Knicks, though, is good enough to go, you know, out to Indianapolis and win a game there. But to me, I think it was an advantage for Indiana to steal game 1. And this is a team, man, like I said, they've been dirty macking and hustling for about 2 weeks, man.
So they going to get it done.
I got the Pacers in this series, man.
And my only thing about New York, the scariest part about Indiana is that, man, Cat had 35 points and Bronson had 43, and they shot what? Cat was 11 for 17, Bronson was 15 for 25, and OG had in his 30s too. So like, man, just from the stats alone, it's like, what else can you do? Like, what's going on? Like, so what do you think is the key for the Knicks to just come back and try to level the situation out and kind of slow these Pacers down? Because it seems like the Pacers ain't trying to slow down at all.
Well, it's simplistic, E. Karl Anthony Towns is going to be the reason that the Knicks get to the NBA Finals. They get to the NBA Finals. And I just think that he has to play a little bit more with his back to the basket to be able to get some of the bigs from the Indiana Pacers to get in foul trouble. Guys like Miles Turner, guys like Pascal Siakam, Because at the end of the day, as long as them dudes stay in the game, bro, think about it from a talent standpoint. Is that the Knicks really, when they put Mitchell Robinson on the floor, he really don't have any offense. I mean, he's an outstanding defensive player. Don't get it twisted, but he don't have no offense, and they shoot what 40% from the free throw line.
30.
So
liability.
So what the Pacers do, not only are they big, versatile type of guys, but those are dudes that get to the line and hit some free throws for you too. So I just think that for me with the Knicks, man, they got to play a little bit more inside out. You know what I mean? Because they do get jump shooting happy from time to time, and also you get a lot of standing around when Brunson has the ball in his hand. And so that would, like I said earlier, when you got a guy that's basically 6 feet and he playing one-on-one all the time, and it's not like he out there super crossing, he on 87 mode. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So teams are gonna start sagging the lane, man. And it's gonna make the situation difficult. You gotta think about it, man. Rick Carlisle is an NBA champion as a head coach.
And that's what he coached like. He coached the first game yesterday, Joe, last night, he coached like an NBA coach. I can't count. He coached like a championship coach, championship pedigree, and the player that got hot, he let the player get hot and do his thing, bro. So it was just a nice move. It was just good to see, man, some real good basketball in Madison Square Garden. The Knicks, the curse was in effect.
Reggie was in
the choke. The ghost of Reggie and the choke was. It took over Tyrese Halliburton. He had a crazy celebration, which was timely but slight untimely because the Knicks had a chance to. They was up 4 in the overtime, man, and still couldn't seal a deal. So it's like it was a real thing, man. But before we let you go, I got one more, man. You got Indiana and you got OKC coming out. So Indiana versus OKC in the hypothetical finals. Just in case we don't get a chance to revisit this, predict the overall winner. Who coming out on top, bro? Who you got?
Man, I think that between Oklahoma City and the Pacers, it's going to be some good basketball. Now, it may be from a rating standpoint, the NBA probably going to take a kill on the ratings end, just to say the least. But I just think that at the end of the day, I have to favor Oklahoma City, man. I mean, they're the best defensive team in the league. They won 68 games. So to me, I just think that for the Pacers standpoint, if they do get to the NBA Finals, look at what they've had to persevere and go through to be able to get there. And I think that we saw from game 1 in the Western Conference Finals from Oklahoma City that they didn't have those scrap nails from that Denver series. That was a long, hard kind of series until basically the second half of game number 7. It was a hard-fought series. Right. And so to me, for them to be able to come in and take game 1 from Minnesota, I thought, to me, that just showed their maturity level, man. And I just think that for this team, they're a microcosm of their star player, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. They're not going to get too hyped, but I just think that from a defensive standpoint, I just think they're a little too much. Also, too, can't forget about Chet Holmgren, man. He's been, playing some good ball for the Thunder. To me, he's the key to that whole situation, man. It's him. If he continues to at least play at this kind of level where he at, maybe go a little higher, I have to favor Oklahoma City in that series, man. Probably maybe about 6 games an hour.
Man, I love it, Joe.
We need some game 7.
I love it, man.
I love these series right here. Hey, before and because we in iHeart Hoops, I gotta mention this to you too, because we got a legend that's coming back to television soon. We talking about NBA on NBC next year. MJ about to be broadcasting. I know you felt a little bit about that. What's your take on that right there?
Oh man, I mean, it was like I had to do a double take when I seen it, seeing it drop. I'm like, man, am I seeing this for real? Obviously, NBA on NBC. I mean, we blessed obviously to be Bulls fans, man, during the 90s. We're a rare breed, being able to, grow up a couple blocks literally from the, old Chicago Stadium in the United Center. The Bulls built NBC. Yeah. Obviously they won, 6 out of 8 championships on NBC with they run. And so, for Jordan to be able to come back, man, I just think it's great for the game. Obviously, we haven't really heard anything from Mike, man, since he stole the Charlotte Hornets a couple of years ago. He's been basically, auto racing and playing golf. So, it'd be good to just hear his perspective. I know a lot of people probably think he might be on old head mode. I don't know. We're going to have to see, man.
Over under T10. The number is 10 appearances this year on NBC. Over under for Michael Jordan.
That's a good one, too. Nice. Yeah, that's a good joint. Yeah. I would say under 10. Because it's Mike, man. Mike got swag, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mike ain't about the oversaturation. You know what I'm saying? No, these mics ain't coming out. These mics ain't coming out the fall, fam. I know we got them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't dropping them in the end. That's always been Mike.
His first show gonna be on Christmas, probably.
Yeah, classic right there. Man, that's it, man. Hey, so that's the NBA, man. You got OKC taking it out, man. OKC, I gotta shout out OKC with you one more time. I gotta agree with you. You know, normally I don't agree when it comes to things like this, but I gotta agree with you. And you know, I've been on OKC ass for like 2 years in a row, but I can't front, Joe. Off-season last year, they pretended they went out, but they management made some moves that really improved that team. I really didn't like Caruso in Chicago, but man, he coined the phrase. He playoff Caruso, like regular season Caruso and playoff Caruso, two different people. And Isaiah Hartenstein, it add that beef to that front line with Williams and Chet. Joe, I don't see nobody mess with OKC, man, especially if Shea can still do what he gotta do. But it wouldn't be our hard hoops though, T, and we don't get into the W, Joe. You know we gotta get into the W, man, real quick. It's family here, you know what I mean? You know we love the W. Give us, I'll let you freestyle on that one, Joe. Give us any way you want to go, Joe. Just give me some heat on the W, man. How you feel about the season? You can talk about the injury, see if you want to get into that. Just talk about the W, Joe. How you feel?
Well, first and foremost, man, shout out, man, to the New York Liberty, obviously winning the WNBA championship last season. You know, we've seen a lot of movement, you know, in the free agency period, you know, free agency in the WNBA and as far as trades as well. So that's good to see. You know, obviously it's year number 2 with Caitlin Clark. You know, she came out the gates, you know, DDT'd our Chicago Sky, and I was so salty about that one. But sent us straight out. And so, you know, her development, you know, obviously, you know, she's the quote unquote, you know, female Michael Jordan or LeBron James of the WNBA right now, man, as far as just bringing, you know, their fan base in. So, you know, it was just ironic, man. It was just like central cast of like a wrestling mode, man, for her and Adrian Reese to get into it and they first hook up. You know, I thought that was real cool, man. A lot of people, you know, obviously got a lot to say about Angel Reese, man. But,
right.
You know, as far as her game on the court, man, you know, I'm always supportive, obviously, with the Chicago Sky. You know, got high hopes for the Sky this season, man. Van Lift, you know, bringing Van Lift in during the WNBA draft, I think was huge. And so, you know, across the league, man, you know, obviously Wilson, obviously, they ain't going nowhere. You know, I just think that they're going to be in contention. Think about it, man. They was on mini dynasty mode, man, until the Liberty was able to handle business, you know, last season. So,
right.
You know, I just think that, you know, they'll be back into the fold.
Jewel Lord, they added Jewel Lord and Jackie Young, and then they sent old girl to LA, and she shot in LA, so that looked like that balanced out for both teams. Yeah. Yeah,
so I think as a whole for the WNBA, man, you know, they had a good season last season. You know, I think it's a lot of eyeballs on the league this season. You know, you had, you know, bouncing back from, you know, the unrival league. You know, I think that was a good entity. Shout out to Collier too.
Right.
You know, not only, you know, playing it, but being the architect of it.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's just going to be interesting just to see how far that kind of develops and where that goes. But I thought overall for the game, women's game of basketball, I thought it was a good thing. And obviously now, you know, you get into the season, you know, after having the Olympics last year, man. So I think that they are, you know, extended, man, towards just, you know, regular, what I call regular folks watching their league. Because obviously, you know, the ladies, you know, athletes going to watch the league. You know, you guys do a great job and say covering the league, but I mean, we all know at the end of the day, you want to get that, you know, 27 to 40 demographic watching your game, man. And so we'll see what the WNBA is able to do this season on that.
Man, love T. It's been love, bro. We love you, man. My homie T.Knott, bro. We on fire the spot. Y'all can catch him at We on Fire. We on Fire Sports. We on Fire Sports on YouTube. All that good stuff. T.Knott, shout outs, last words, bro. Let us know.
Man. Once again, man, I appreciate y'all letting me fall through again. You know, my door always open, you know, man, on the spot. You know, appreciate, you know, the contributions you guys been doing over there as well. And man, just ready to get it, man. We at the, you know, good time of the year, man. It's May. You know, to all my people, man, across Chicagoland, man. For Memorial Day, don't do nothing stupid. You know, so I'm just gonna leave it off that.
Yeah, that's it, man. Don't do nothing stupid, man. Memorial Day, iHeart Hoops. It's been fun, guys. We finna get into this OKC, Minnesota, the second game. And man, we finna do what we gotta do. It's the Weekly Dog Sports Betting Podcast. I'm your boy Malcolm Scott, the man Russian.
And I'm East Salim, the man Taylor Street.
Like, subscribe, share for this content.
Yes,
It's brought to you by Brown Toro Clean Delivery and Repair. And we out of here. Next segment, the Betterverse from the